I see. I do believe it's Christmas. It's cold outside, but I'm warm within, 'cause Christmas time is here.
Keep my commandments. New mercies every day. That's what the scriptures say. But that doesn't mean continue to live this way. A righteous man falls down and gets back up again. But the wicked shall fall again and again. You know you got to keep God's commandments. Keep commandments, that's what he said. Do what's right, or you'll be fighting for your life. Keep God's commandments, it's the whole duty of man. It's the whole duty of man. New mercies fall upon us every day. That's what the scriptures say. But that doesn't mean that we can continue to live our lives this way. That's what he said. Ye are children tossed to and fro by winds of false doctrine. That's where you go. 5%ers, Islam, Kemet, Christianity, or Christian insanity. Come back to your God, Israel. For it has been made manifest to us what is pleasing to our Elohim. Keep my commandments, that's what he said. Do what's right, or you'll be fighting for your life. Keep God's commandments, it's the whole duty of man. It's the whole duty of man. I love y'all, Israel.
Yes, sir. We live? All right, shalom, everybody. Most High in Christ. Bless. Hope you enjoyed your Sabbath, your day of rest. But we're coming to you now with our Christmas special. If you know somebody that celebrates Christmas, or if you yourself is celebrating Christmas, please tune in to this class right here. Share the video. I'm Brother Jacob, and to my left,
Brother Roy.
and we're getting into this thing called Christmas. For years, we've been telling our people that Christmas is not a custom of our people. So we're going to show you through some scriptures today that it's not something that our people should be keeping. It, for sure, is not something that we should be teaching our children. All of it, 100%, is based on lies. From top to bottom, it's based on lies. So our Christmas special is tearing down these lies. Let's open up with Exodus chapter 20 and verse 1.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 1. And God spake all these words, saying,
Go ahead.
I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
So it wasn't the gods of the nations or the idols that Jeroboam had built, called Baal, the heifer. They didn't lead us out of Egypt. No God led us out of Egypt except for the God of Israel, the God of our fathers. Go ahead.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
So the first commandment is thou shalt have no other gods before me. And what we haven't realized is everything that's associated with Christmas is idolatry, serving other gods. You heard me right. Serving other gods. It's taking all the different customs of all the other nations, wrapping them up, and then saying, oh, this is dealing with Christ, our Lord and Savior, celebrating his birthday. When did Christ say to do that? If you love me, keep my commandments. They broke bread. He said, do this in remembrance of me. But nobody does that. Well, in Christianity. But keep going. Read verse 4 and 5.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth.
Well, last time I looked, a Christmas tree is on the earth. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them.
Wait a minute. So people be laughing at us when we say, oh, when you bow down to put that gift under the tree, or you bow down to pick up that gift, what are you doing? Why is it in front of a tree?
Right.
What's the tree got anything to do with the Lord? You know, why do you put a star on top of the Christmas tree? Why do you do all this stuff? Why do you have stockings and you put gifts in stockings? Why do you do all these things? Finish that verse.
Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me.
Of them that hate me. So when our people are in idolatry, the Lord hates you. Because you hating him. And like he said in Deuteronomy 8, that when you hate him, he going to repay you to your face. So we got to stay. First thing that we got to understand is what the idolatry is. And we're not doing that. We're just going along with things because it was given to us. Oh, let's do this. And then our forefathers was doing it and doing it and doing it for the last few hundred years. It probably hadn't even been that long. I don't know how long Christmas has been going on.
In America,
modern day Christmas, yeah.
It's like 17. I believe the Catholics outlawed it.
Protestants.
And the Protestants outlawed it, and they brought it back in like the 17 or 1800s.
Yeah, but they claim to be not like the Catholic Church.
Right.
You know, the Catholic Church, they got straight up idols, you know, of people, and they bow down and burn incense and all that kind of stuff. But don't realize you're doing the same thing with the tree. Why you got candles and stuff around the tree? Why you got candles in your window?
Yeah, so
Let them say it on the mic.
Shalom, y'all. So I looked it up. It says the celebration of Christmas started in Rome about 336, but it did not become a major Christian festival until the 9th century. And then it said these celebrations.
Back up. You're going to be distorted.
My bad. Then it says these celebrations commemorated Christ's birth, and the name Christmas Christ's Mass is first recorded in England in 1038. And then all of that changed in the 4th century when the Pope, Julius I, selected December 25th as the official date when Christians would celebrate the birth of Jesus.
Right, and all that is during, guess what? During the time of Constantine. So this is not, has nothing to do with the Lord or the disciples. They did not do these things. They weren't in Christianity. They weren't running around calling themselves Christians. Now, give me the first, no, you keep, because I'm going to have him read. Go to ecclesiastical history. Let's hit that first. First show the book, and then show the excerpt.
Shalom. So for everybody who wanted to know what I read that from, I just read that off of the Britannica, the English Britannica, the English Heritage, and I read that little excerpt off of that page. But what we're reading now is the ecclesiastical history. The ecclesiastical history. So let me move this out of the way. 1 second. The reins being once let loose to superstition, which knows no bounds, absurd notions and idle ceremonies multiplied almost every day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Quantities of dust and earth brought from Palestine and other places remarkable for their supposed sanctity were handed about the most powerful remedies against the violence of the wicked spirits, and were sold and brought everywhere at enormous prices.
Well, they're selling dirt from Palestine. Go ahead. Keep going.
The public processions and supplications by which the pagans endeavored to appease their gods.
Right, so what they used to do for their gods, their pagan celebrations. Go ahead.
By which the pagans endeavored to appease their gods were now adopted into the Christian worship and celebrated in many places with great pomp and magnificence.
Meaning they went all out to celebrate this stuff, just like they do today. Go ahead.
The virtues which had formerly been ascribed to the heathen temples, to the lustrations. That's a fancy word. Never seen that one before. Okay. To the illustrations, to the statues of their gods, lowercase g, and heroes, were now attributed to Christian churches. To water consecrated by certain forms of prayer, and to images of holy men. And the same privileges that the former enjoyed under the darkness of paganism were conferred upon the latter under the light of the gospel.
Yeah, under the light of the gospel, attributing these things to the gospel, just like Christmas, St. Valentine's Day, Easter, all these things. Come on.
Or rather under the cloud of superstition, which is obscuring its glory.
You good. You good right there. So you can drop that and come back to us now. So the paganism was fused with it was fused with the doctrine of the scriptures and the belief of Christ. It was fused with it and thus became Christianity. So all of this stuff is idol worship. That's what we're dealing with today, irregardless of what people say. It's idol worship. Now, let's open up with some scriptures. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon. For those of you, if you don't have an Apocrypha, get you one. Shoot. Might be able to download, you can download the King James Version app with the Apocrypha in it.
The words are definitely messed up. Right?
Oh, yeah. Some of it will, yeah. Wisdom of Solomon 13. Start at verse 1.
The Book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13 and verse 1. Surely vain are all men by nature, who are ignorant of God, and could not out of the good things that are seen know him that is. Neither by considering the works did they acknowledge the workmaster.
Yeah, not understanding that everything you see is created. It has a master. Come on. Verse 2.
But deem either fire, or wind, or the swift air, or the circle of the stars, or the violent water, or the lights of heaven, to be the gods which govern the world.
Right, so what gets me right here, the circle of the stars, or the violent water, or the lights of heaven, to be gods which govern the world.
Horoscopes.
Huh?
Horoscopes.
All that stuff. They're looking into the heavens. They're looking into the things in the heavens. We're going to get to a scripture later on about that. But, like, ask yourself, why are you putting a star on the Christmas tree? It's a good question. Think about it. Verse 3.
With whose beauty, if they being delighted, took them to be gods. Let them know how much better the Lord of them is. For the first author of beauty hath created them.
Yes, they have a creator, but they sitting there worshiping it. I asked a brother this week, what's his name? Something Shabazz. Let's just say Shabazz, right? And he just keeps coming at us. And I asked him, I was like, if what y'all believe is the truth, why do you have that crescent moon with a star next to it? He wouldn't answer. We're not supposed to be worshiping the stars. All that stuff. What is the moon? The moon represents the queen of heaven. We'll get to that later. Keep going.
But if they were astonished at their power and virtue, let them understand by them how much mightier he is that made them.
Right. If you think that's something to behold, what about the creator of it? Go ahead.
For by the greatness and beauty of the creatures proportionably the maker of them is seen.
Come on.
But yet for this day are the less to be blamed, for they peradventure err, seeking God and desirous to find him. For being conversant in his works, they search him diligently and believe their sight, because the things are beautiful that are seen.
Right. So they like the beauty of it, of how it's seen, but not understanding that it has a creator. Keep going.
Howbeit, neither are they to be pardoned. For
So even though they're searching for God, neither are they to be pardoned for worshiping these things like the sun, the moon, and the stars. Go ahead.
For if they were able to know so much that they could aim at the world, how did they not sooner find out the Lord thereof?
Right.
But miserable are they, and in dead things is their hope, who called them gods, which are the works of men's hands.
Which are the works of men's hands. Remember this. Remember this stuff. You was going to say something?
Just something real quick. After you
Okay, finish this verse out.
Gold and silver, to show art in, and resemblance of beast, or a stone good for nothing, the work of an ancient hand.
Now, this is Solomon. And in the Wisdom of Solomon, we see Solomon talking about ancient Egypt. So they was putting gold, silver and gold on their statues, their gods back then too. And we can see it. You got images. You got artifacts where they did these things with these so-called gods. Go ahead, y'all. Yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted to point out the first part of verse 10. It says, "But miserable are they, and in dead things is their hope." These people that worship these idols, these stars, these moons, these rocks, and all this other stuff, when you really dig deep into it and really take those things away, these people are miserable. All these people are miserable. You put people that's, for example, people that's smoking, you take away that weed, they run out. They're sad. They're hurt people on the inside. When these people that worship rocks, When that rock gone, they're sad. They're miserable people. All these things, like you said, these dead things, that weed can burn up and all of it's gone. The rocks can break and disappear. That's why we got to put our hope in Christ, because Christ will always have Christ, unless you are in some other stuff. But
Yeah.
Christ is eternal. You cannot lose him.
Now look, since he said that, let's go to Jeremiah 2. We're gonna come back to Wisdom of Solomon, but let's go there first. So they're putting their hope in dead things. Jeremiah 2 and 26, 27.
I didn't mean to make class a little longer, but that happened.
No, that's on y'all. Y'all the one got that drive. Look at Roy. Look at Roy.
That's just one of the things that had to be said, honestly.
All right.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 2 and verse 26.
Yep.
As the thief is ashamed when he is found, so is the house of Israel ashamed. They, their kings, their princes, and their priests, and their prophets.
Right. So they're ashamed. The reason they're ashamed is because they're serving idols. There's a whole lot of talk of idolatry in Jeremiah. But keep going. This is why. So in dead things is their hope. Like Aryeh was saying. Read the next two verses.
Saying to a stock, thou art my father.
To wood. A
And-
wooden idol. Go ahead.
And to a stone, thou hast brought me forth. For they have turned their back unto me, and not their face. But in the time of their trouble, they will say, arise and save us.
Right. So when you and you putting your faith in these dead things that's made with men's hands, and when you going through the calamity, who gonna save you? You gonna tell that piece of wood to arise and save me? You gonna be ashamed. Go ahead.
But where are thy gods that thou hast made thee? Let them arise, if they can save thee in the time of thy trouble.
So on Christmas, when your tree go up in flames and your house is burning, is that tree gonna save you? No. That's what the Lord is saying. He's your help, not these idols. Come on.
For according to the number of thy cities are thy gods, O Judah.
Damn. So the huge problem with our people was idolatry. Now, Wisdom of Solomon 14. Start at verse 8.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse 8. But that which is made with hands is cursed, as well it as he that made it be.
So the idol itself and the person that made it. Go ahead.
He, because he hath made it, and it, because being corruptible, it was called God.
Right, so the person that made it is cursed because the Lord said, don't make a graven image. Now, it's one thing to make, like this. This is a graven image. But like this is something that the Lord said to make. So a graven image is something that you make and then you turn around and worship it. You got people making idols just specifically for them to be worshipped. Go ahead.
For the ungodly and his ungodliness are both alike, hateful unto God.
Right. It ain't that stuff about God loveth the God hate the sin and love the sinner. That's not true. Go ahead.
For that which is made shall be punished together with him that made it. Therefore, even upon the idols of the Gentiles shall there be a visitation.
Right.
Because in the creature of God they are become an abomination, and stumbling blocks to the souls of men, and a snare to the feet of the unwise.
You don't think like the Christmas tree is a stumbling block. All of that stuff is designed for you to bow down to that tree, make a commitment, worship that tree, or at least look like you worshiping that tree. You don't have the presence of mind to see that. But the Lord, if you don't repent, the Lord ain't gonna forgive you for it. It's an abomination to him. It's a stumbling block to you, to our people, and we don't even realize it. Go ahead.
For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and the invention of them the corruption of life.
Abstain from idols. Watch this. Don't get mad at me, y'all. Acts 15. 19 and 20, real quick.
The book of Acts, chapter 15 and verse 19. Wherefore my sentence is, that we trouble not them, which are from among the Gentiles, are turned to God.
So our people that's repenting, when they turn back, he's giving them a few things to abstain from at the very beginning. Go ahead.
But that we write unto them, that they abstain from pollution of idols.
See, number one, pollution of idols. You don't think there was idols back then? We're going to hit that later. Go ahead.
And from fornication, and from things strangled, and from blood.
Right. Damn. All right. Wisdom of Solomon 15 now. And verse... Oh, yeah, we just going to one verse. Verse 17.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 15 and verse 17. For being mortal, he worketh a dead thing with wicked hands. For he himself is better than the things which he worshipeth. Whereas he lived once, but they never.
Damn, so these idols don't... They never lived. They never lived. They never lived. But as we're going to get into, people create idols and then think that they can do something for them. And it's like, it's almost inherent in the nations, in the other nations, for them to do that, for them to create that stuff. Matter of fact, one more unscheduled scripture. Go back to Jeremiah 2. Jeremiah was going in on them idols. Yeah, we was talking about this at camp. 2 and, was it 11?
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 2 and verse 11. Hath a nation changed their gods?
Where do you think these gods came from? Where do you think Christmas came from? Yuletide, burning logs, all this crazy stuff, bobbing for apples. What's this? Mistletoe, the wreath. Where all this stuff come from? You know, so what all this stuff got to do with Christmas? You go to a Christmas party, they got mistletoe by the door, or they got it somewhere in particular for people to go under. And somebody might be trying to lure you under the mistletoe.
Mm-hmm. They got an extra prize. Oh.
Yeah. What does this have to do with the Lord, man? What does it have to do with righteousness at all? But go ahead.
Hath a nation changed their gods, which are yet no gods? But my people have changed their glory for that which doeth not profit.
Right. Serving these idols does not profit Israel. It's like the number one evil thing you can do against the Lord, man. Now, Leviticus. Oh, yeah. Leviticus 18. So now, people will say, oh, well, we do it for the kids, or I do it because so-and-so did it. But nobody ever really looks, to see what we're supposed to do. What we need to do to make peace with the Lord, to please our God, instead of other people. They come up with all kinds of excuses. The Christians be saying, that Jeremiah 10 is not talking about a Christmas tree. We'll get into that later. Wasn't no such thing as a damn Christmas tree back then. Right. But you still doing the same thing. Right. Leviticus 18 and start at 2.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 18 and verse 2. Speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them, I am the Lord your God.
So first and foremost, speak to the children of Israel. Tell the children of Israel, I am the Lord your God. This has nothing to do with other people. Go ahead.
After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do. Neither shall ye walk in their ordinances.
Right.
Ye shall do my judgments, and keep mine ordinances, to walk therein. I am the Lord your God.
Right. So like you was asking the sister at camp today, why we do these things? Like, what are we supposed to be doing? We're not supposed to do what the other nations do. But we don't.
And she knew that it didn't have any root in our history.
Right. Our people don't know.
Nor do they consider.
Right. What is it? They'll say, "Oh, well, African culture or whatever." But when you ask them what is that, they don't. They don't know. They'll say something like what she says, spirituality. But in all actuality, we're just a lost people, man. Lost people. We good here in Leviticus now. Well, read 3 again.
Verse 3. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do. Neither shall ye walk in their ordinances.
So don't walk in the ordinances of the people in the land of Canaan. Don't walk in the ordinances of the Egyptians where you just came out from. So no matter where you are, don't keep the customs of the other people. Genesis 40 and 20. We're just coming out of Egypt.
The book of Genesis, chapter 40 and verse 20. And it came to pass the third day, which was Pharaoh's birthday.
Pharaoh's birthday. Do you see in the Bible anywhere where the children of Israel are celebrating birthdays? No. So this is one of the things we're not supposed to be doing. We're not supposed to do after the people of the land. Finish that verse.
That he made a feast unto all his servants, and he lifted up the head of the chief butler and of the chief baker among his servants.
Right, so they had a feast. They had a birthday and they had a feast. And you look at people today, they have a birthday, they get food and they get them some liquor or some, I don't know, what other stuff they use to get inebriated nowadays.
Liquor, weed.
And not only that, it's not just a day. A lot of women, it's my birthday
Birthday
week, my birthday month.
Weekend. And they want to turn up. That's not our custom. The heathen did that. Now, Deuteronomy 13. It's obvious why in Christianity you're told not to go to the Old Testament. Or stay away from the law. We don't have to observe the law. All right. Chapter 13 and start at 4.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 13 and verse 4. Ye shall walk after the Lord your God and fear him, and keep his commandments, and obey his voice, and ye shall serve him and cleave unto him.
That's clear cut. You're supposed to do what the Lord say. Go ahead.
And that prophet, or that dreamer of dreams, shall be put to death, because he hath spoken to turn you away from the Lord your God, which brought you out of the land of Egypt, and redeemed you out of the house of bondage.
So any prophet. So let's use T.D. Jakes as an example. He tell you it's okay to keep Christmas and you serving the Lord by keeping Christmas and all this stuff. He's going to have a terrible outcome. That prophet, that dreamer of dreams, because he's supposed to be leading you into righteousness. So if he leads you away from that into idolatry, the Lord said he's going to destroy him.
And he said the church is adapting to today's times as if God changed.
Right.
Or, depending on what you believe, go to the church that fits you. These are things that this is his advice when he gets asked certain questions.
Well, yeah, we see what he likes. Anyway, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? You can't just do what you want to do, because the Lord will turn you over, like it's saying in Romans.
Oh, this what you like?
Yeah.
This what you like? Oh, okay.
Your mic on?
Say he was going to turn him over.
Yeah.
And redeemed you out of the house of bondage, to thrust thee out of the way which the Lord thy God commanded thee to walk in. So shalt thou put the evil away from the midst of thee.
Put away the evil. The evil. Come on.
If thy brother, the son of thy mother, or thy son, or thy daughter, or the wife of thy bosom, or thy friend, which is as thine own soul, entice thee secretly, saying, Let us go and serve other gods, which thou hast not known, thou nor thy fathers.
So, a lot of people, they'll be like, well, white people are nice. Look, even when you go to the store and you check out and that person behind the register says, what are you doing for Christmas? Have a happy Christmas. Enjoy your Christmas. This is what they doing. They're enticing you to go serve other gods. We don't even realize it. We don't realize it. We've been brought up. We've been raised among all of this wickedness. And so it's hard for us to really see it. It's not until you start serving the Lord and you understand what he requires of you that you can see the evil, the wickedness. They don't even understand what they're doing, that they're enticing you to go and serve another God. Mm-hmm. They don't think it's wrong. They don't understand that. Go ahead.
Namely, of the gods of the people which are round about you, nigh unto thee, or far off from thee, from the one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. Thou shalt not consent unto him, nor hearken unto him, neither shall thine eye pity him, neither shalt thou spare, neither shalt thou conceal him.
Right, so you're not supposed to pity him, you're not supposed to spare him in and let him go, nor conceal them. Why? Go ahead.
But thou shalt surely kill him. Thine hand shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterwards the hand of all the people. Right,
because the witness is supposed to be first, then everybody else. But what you're doing is putting away the wickedness from among you. Go ahead.
And thou shalt stone him with stones that he die, because he hath sought to thrust thee away from the Lord thy God, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage.
Right, because by doing that, he's going to separate you from your God. Now, verse 15.
Thou shalt surely smite the inhabitants of the city with the edge of the sword, destroying it utterly, and all that is therein, and the cattle thereof with the edge of the sword.
Hold on. We 13.
Verse 13. Certain men, the children of Belial,
just a different way of saying Baal,
are gone out from among you, and have withdrawn the inhabitants of their city, saying, let us go and serve other gods which ye have not known.
Right, so then you're supposed to smite, then you're supposed to destroy the whole daggone city where they doing that at. The Lord don't play. Like some of the things that they're doing in Israel, I can see. So like, I saw them breaking down statues of Palestinians, which I could understand that. But you ain't keeping nothing else. What else you doing? It said don't kill the women and children. You just bombing people. And first and foremost, you ain't even the damn people. You don't even belong there. It's going to come back on their head. All right, that's it for Deuteronomy 13. Chapter 7 and 5.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 5. But thus shall ye deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars, and break down their images, and cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire.
So anything to do with them worshiping images, you're supposed to destroy it. This is in our land. But eventually it's going to be throughout the whole earth. Ain't going to be no idols on the earth when Christ come back. Go ahead.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Right now, verse 25, 26.
Verse 25. The graven images of their gods shall ye burn with fire. Thou shalt not desire the silver or gold that is on them.
Right. You're not supposed to desire the silver or gold that's on them. Go ahead.
Nor take it unto thee, lest thou be snared therein. For it is an abomination to the Lord thy God. Neither shalt thou bring an abomination into thine house.
Wait. You ain't supposed to bring it into your house. So,
Monks, all-seeing eyes.
All that stuff. But the main thing we're speaking of today, the daggone tree and everything that got to do with that tree. It's a known idol. So in the time of Jeremiah, that's when they was worshiping this tree. But we're going to get into the story. We'll finish that. Or did you finish it? No, 26. You didn't finish. No, 25. Yeah.
Neither shalt thou bring an abomination into thine house, lest thou be a cursed thing like it. But thou shalt utterly detest it, and thou shalt utterly abhor it, for it is a cursed thing.
Damn, it is a cursed thing. So you'll see a lot of brothers and sisters that wake up and understand that they're Israel, and they'll take a picture of that daggone Christmas tree in a trash can. All praises to the Most High. Abstain from them daggone idols. Now, Deuteronomy 4. Deuteronomy 4, that's Old Testament. Sure is. That's what the Lord gave us laws to understand how to please Him. Verse 15.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4 and verse 15. Take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves, for ye saw no manner of similitude on the day that the Lord spake unto you in Horeb, out of the midst of the fire.
So the Lord did not allow Israel to see Him because He understood. This is a time period where everybody had idols. I can't remember how many idols they had in Egypt. But the Lord did not allow Israel to see Him on purpose. Go ahead.
Lest ye corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image, the similitude of any figure, the likeness of male or female, or non-binary, or
hey, because they had them gods in Egypt. Those
right.
What would you call it?
Or something.
Stuff is crazy, man. Go
the
ahead.
likeness of any beast that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged fowl that flieth in the air.
So they had these things in Egypt. Go ahead.
The likeness of anything that creepeth on the ground, the likeness of any fish that is in the waters beneath the earth. And lest thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven.
Unto heaven.
And when thou seest the sun and the moon and the stars, even all the host of heaven.
This got to make you think about the Christmas tree. You put silver and gold on it, and they sprinkle a little stuff and put the little silver streamers on it, and then put a sun on top. And what do these damn balls represent? What does all that stuff represent? Man, it's freaking sun worship. We'll get into it. Keep going.
Shouldest be driven to worship them and serve them, which the Lord thy God hath divided unto all the nations under the whole heaven.
So you don't think it's a coincidence that you got to bow down in front of that tree with them balls, the silver and gold, and the star on top? Like Scripture said, be mindful. What verse was that?
19.
Yeah, read 20. That'll be it.
But the Lord hath taken you and brought you forth out of the iron furnace, even out of Egypt, to be unto him a people of inheritance, as ye are this day.
Right, so we supposed to be serving the Lord and not all these daggone idols. So it's like he's talking about these idols in Egypt, and we was reading the same thing in Wisdom of Solomon. He even go into the things that was going on while we were in Egypt. Heavy idolatry. 1 Kings chapter 11 and verse 1.
The book of 1 Kings, chapter 11 and verse 1. But King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites, of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, Ye shall not go into them, neither shall they come in unto you, for surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Solomon clave unto these in love.
Turn you away after their gods. I know for myself personally, dealing with women of the other nations, how you going to Christmas, how you going to Thanksgiving stuff, and even our own women, the same thing. Because the men, everybody know the men be like, I don't really want to. You know what I mean? I don't really care for that. But it'd be the women leading you.
Man, lose their wits after women.
Mm-hmm. We're all meeting up for Christmas at so-and-so's house.
And then look, what do they do now? They buy all their husbands the matching sweaters. You seen those videos? They all walk in wearing the same shirt. All the wives.
No. Bruh. Now, keep going.
And he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines.
Mm-hmm.
And his wives turned away his heart. For it came to pass, when Solomon was old, that his wives turned away his heart after other gods. And his heart was not perfect with the Lord, his God, as was the heart of David his father.
Come on.
For Solomon went after Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Zidonians, and after Milcom, the abomination of the Ammonites.
So, Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Zidonians, and Milcom, the abomination of the Ammonites. These are their gods. Go ahead.
And Solomon did evil in the sight of the Lord, and went not fully after the Lord as did David his father.
So, going after other gods, like we know, reading in the law, is evil. Verse 7.
Then did Solomon build an high place for Chemosh, the abomination of Moab, in the hill that is before Jerusalem, and for Molech, the abomination of the children of Ammon.
Go ahead.
And likewise did he for all his strange wives, which burnt incense and sacrifice unto their gods.
All right, you're good. So we're going to get into some scholarship right now. So I wanted to introduce these show Solomon, because like we didn't read, when we read in Deuteronomy 7, we started at 5 and 6. We didn't read where it said don't deal with the women of the other nations, because you'll end up serving their gods. They're going to try to lead you to serving their gods. This happened with Solomon. So I wanted you to get a couple of these names in, see some of these names before we start getting into who these people were. Matter of fact, let's we're gonna hit a couple more scriptures, then we'll go to the scholarship. Jeremiah 44 and verse 15. So, but there's some main ones. Actually, all of these gods are the same gods. They all come from ancient Babylon. 44, Jeremiah 44. Let me get that.
15.
Oh, yeah. Start at 15.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 44 and verse 15. Then all the men which knew that their wives had burnt incense unto other gods, and all the women that stood by, a great multitude, even all the people that dwelt in the land of Egypt, in Pathros, answered Jeremiah, saying, As for the word that thou hast spoken unto us in the name of the Lord, we will not hearken unto thee. But we will certainly do whatsoever thing goeth forth out of our own mouth, to burn incense unto the Queen of heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto her, as we have done, we and our fathers, our kings and our princes in the cities of Judah, and in the streets of Jerusalem. For then had we plenty of victuals, and were well, and saw no evil.
So they're being they're being rebellious as hell.
And it's the same spirit to be on our people now, because we tell them don't eat pork. Well, my grandma ate pork all her life. Ain't nothing happened to her. We celebrate Christmas when we was kids. Ain't nothing happened to us. It's the same spirit on our people, man.
So, yeah, it is the same. Now, it said in verse 15, it said they burned incense to other gods. That's why I said at the beginning, like, why are you putting candles in the window? Why are you putting lights on the tree? Think about it. And then it said they were going to burn incense unto the Queen of Heaven. That's a form of worship. The Queen of Heaven. This Queen of Heaven is one person. We'll show you later. It's different. They got different names, but it's the same person. They're gonna burn incense to the Queen of Heaven, and they're gonna pour out drink offerings to her, because while they serving the Queen of Heaven, everything works out fine for them. And we be telling people, the devil can bless you. The devil be giving people blessings. So you think it's okay. But the Lord put you through stuff to try you. You can't deal with it. Mm-hmm. You want to go back to serving devils. Go ahead, verse 18.
But since we left off to burn incense to the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto her, we have wanted all things, and have been consumed by the sword and by the famine. Mm-hmm. And when we burned incense to the Queen of Heaven, and poured out drink offerings unto her, did we make her cakes to worship her, and pour out drink offerings unto her without our men?
Oh, look. Did we make her cakes to worship her? So keep all this stuff in mind and making cakes to worship her. This the Queen of Heaven. Damn. All right, you can drop that. Give me Ezekiel 9, verse 10.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 9 and verse 10. Mm-hmm. And as for me also, mine eyes shall not spare, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense their way upon their head.
Hold on. That's not possible. It must be 8. Yeah, it's 8. Ezekiel 8.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 8 and verse 10. So I went in and saw, and behold, every form of creeping things and abominable beasts, and all the idols of the house of Israel, portrayed upon the wall round about.
Right, all these things the Lord said, don't make images and serve them, bow down to them. They got them on the wall. Go ahead.
And there stood before them 70 men of the ancients of the house of Israel. And in the midst of them stood Jezaniah, the son of Shaphan, with every man his censer in his hand.
To burn incense. Go
and
ahead.
A thick cloud of incense went up.
Go ahead.
Then said he unto me, Son of man, hast thou seen what the ancients of the house of Israel do in the dark? Every man in the chambers of his imagery. For they say, the Lord seeth us not. The Lord hath forsaken the earth.
So they serving other gods. Keep going.
He saith also unto me, Turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations that they do. Then he brought me to the door of the gates of the Lord's house, which was toward the north. And behold, there sat women weeping for Tammuz.
So it's funny how the women doing all this. So the women are weeping for Tammuz, and they were saying they weren't going to stop serving the Queen of Heaven. Keep going.
Then said he unto me, Hast thou seen this, O son of man? Turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations than these.
Come on.
And he brought me into the inner court of the Lord's house, and behold, at the door of the temple of the Lord, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men, with their backs toward the temple of the Lord, and their faces toward the east. And they worshiped the sun toward the east.
They worship the sun. They worship the sun. All of this is sun worship. The Queen of Heaven, Tammuz, and the sun worship, all of it is got to do with this Christmas tree. This so-called, you call it today a Christmas tree, but it wasn't known as a Christmas tree back then. First thing, give me, I don't know what I named it. It's, no, it's not.
What is it? Like, describe it.
Let me see. Not Nebuchadnezzar's idol. Let me see. It's the men standing around the tree.
Gathered under the tree.
Nah. You see, that's modern day.
The Babylonian tree.
See what that look like.
There's men standing outside the tree.
It's a stone relief.
Yeah, stone relief.
Yeah, show that. Oh, you was moving them things around?
Yeah, I was moving around, then one of the jumps went on the side.
That's why I don't fool with them.
I want him out the way so I can see. That okay, did something else again, but it's out the way.
Yeah, there you go. So this is ancient. This is ancient Babylon. They worship that tree right there. It wasn't called a Christmas tree, but it's the same thing. It's the same old thing. There they go right there. And they worship it because, we'll get into that. We'll show you why they believe that, why they worship it. So let's start with 666. Give them the cover first, 666 Antichrist. So this is the book that we're going to read a couple things out of this book. Go ahead.
Okay. This is a page out of the book 666, The Antichrist. In the Babylonian and Assyrian legend, Nimrod died in his prime, leaving a queen named Semiramis. Semiramis. At his death, Nimrod, according to legend, became immortal, and his spirit flew up to the sun and took possession of it. Hence, he became the Baal Saman, Lord of Heaven. After Nimrod had died and became the sun god.
Whoa. After he had died and became the sun god. Go ahead.
Semiramis and his queen became pregnant. She claimed to be.
Hold on. So after he has died, he done ascended to heaven and became the sun god. Then his queen got pregnant. Yes, immaculate conception. See, people, we don't understand where all this stupid stuff come from. Go ahead.
She claimed to be a virgin, and after Nimrod.
See, hold on. See. She claimed to be a virgin. Go ahead.
And after Nimrod's death, according to legend, begot a child by Nimrod's spirit by coming down on her from the sun.
Get it together. Read it.
She proclaimed to her subjects that her husband's spirit entered into her womb through a sunbeam and begot the legendary godchild Tammuz.
Yeah,
Ezekiel 8 and 14.
The spirit of her husband entered in through another man. That's what happened. Go ahead.
He was born on December 25th.
Oh my goodness. So Nimrod, their immaculately conceived godchild, was born on December 25th. Now, if you really know about December 25th, it's like within a few days where you have the shortest day of the year, and then from that point, the days start getting longer, I believe, after December 25th. That's all this stuff.
I think it was December 21st this year.
December 21st this year.
So,
Winter solstice, right?
winter solstice.
Yeah. So it's all evolves around the sun and this worship right here. Go ahead. I think there's one more.
No, I want nothing else.
Nimrod too.
Yeah, Nimrod should be a Nimrod too.
Oh, yeah. That's what I got up. Okay.
And look. You see that image right there?
The snake wrapped around the log.
That's a stump. That's a stock. Saying to a stock or to a stone.
And then the palm tree.
Yeah, the palm tree in the background. They are upright like the palm trees. Go ahead.
That's crazy.
Yeah, read that joint.
Nimrod was killed in his prime of life, and Nimrod's myth was that his death was to be avenged by the incarnation of his son Tammuz. Who was born at the winter solstice, December 25th. Nimrod, the great god of the Babylonians and Assyrians, and his son Tammuz were symbolized in the form of trees.
in the form of trees. So you wondering, you have no idea why you're bringing a tree into your house. Go ahead.
Nimrod cut off in the midst of his power and glory, was symbolized as a huge tree, stripped of all its branches and cut down almost to the ground. But the great serpent, the symbol of the life restoring twist itself around the dead stock as shown above, and lo, as at its side up sprouts a young tree. A tree of an entirely different kind that is destined to never be cut down by hostile power. This was a palm tree, and it became the symbol of Tammuz, the pagan messiah, because it was a symbol of victory. This could explain the custom of the heathen of hanging their enemies' heads from their sacred trees.
What that sound like?
Christmas ball.
Yeah.
It's crazy, dog.
All this stuff is crazy when you start digging. And these are old white pastors who went and did this. Now, drop that. Come back to us just real quick. And I want Roy to read a scripture. Isaiah chapter 40. Start at 18. Some people have this question right here, too.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 40 and verse 18. To whom then will ye liken God? Or what likeness will ye compare unto him?
What likeness will you compare unto him? Go ahead.
The workman melted the graven image, and the goldsmith spread it over with gold, and casteth silver chains.
So some people ask us, well, what if it isn't a real tree? What if it's an artificial tree? Go ahead.
He that is so impoverished that he hath no oblation chooseth a tree that will not rot. He seeketh unto him a cunning workman to prepare a graven image that shall not be moved.
Right, an artificial tree. Everything covered in the scripts, man. All this stuff is nothing new. So our people don't get. They'll say, well, you got to bring it up to today's time. You're doing the same thing. You just don't realize it because it's not called by the same name.
Making an excuse, court.
And you right to your will. Now, give me the book of not scripture. The book Two Babylons. Oh, we got several in there. Two Babylons. You're just showing the picture first and then go to number one. Yeah, there you go. The Two Babylons. This is another pastor. I can't remember his name right now.
The Two Babylons. The papal worship proved to be the worship of Nimrod and his wife. The Christmas tree, as has been stated.
Hold on. You see that same symbol right? This is a completely different book. But you see the same little stump right there. With the palm tree and something else over there. And a snake wrapped around it. Go ahead now, read it.
The Christmas tree, as has been stated, was genuinely at Rome a different tree, even at the fir. But the very same idea was implied in the palm tree, which implied in the Christmas fir, for that covertly symbolized the newborn God as Baal Berith, Lord of the Covenant.
That's got to be Tammuz. It's the newly born, right?
Yeah, this picture is very pixelated. And thus shadowed forth the perpetuity and everlasting nature of his power, now that after having fallen before his enemies, he had risen triumphant over them all. Therefore, the 25th of December the day that was observed at Rome as the day when the victorious God reappeared on earth was held at Natalis Invicti Solis, the birthday of the unconquered sun.
See, the birthday of the unconquered sun. So that goes into when the days start becoming longer than the nights. It's the sun reconquering. So that's why they use that day. It's sun worship. You good?
Yeah, the picture is real pixelated, so I'm struggling to read it a little bit.
It's fine over here if you want Roy to read it.
It's all right. I mean, I'm almost done now. Now the Yule log is the dead stock of Nimrod, deified as the
Deified.
Deified. Oh wow.
Deified.
Or deified as the sun god, but cut down by his enemies. The Christmas tree is Nimrod Redivius, the slain god, come to life again.
Right. The Christmas tree, it represents him coming to life again. Go to the next one. It's the continuation of this.
Okay. To understand this, it must be remembered that the divine child born at the winter solstice was born as a new incarnation of the great God after that God had been cut in pieces on purpose to revenge his death upon his murderers.
Right. So it's just continuing. It represents Nimrod. The tree represents Nimrod. You have to ask, where the hell does the Christmas tree come from? If you're serving Christ, and this is not in the Bible at all for you to do, why are you doing it? What's the significance of all of these things that you're bringing into your home and you're doing? You're bringing a tree in your house. At what other time does anybody bring a damn tree in the house? I can see if somebody would bring some plants in. But a tree?
That's the thing. You bring it, it's gonna die as soon as you cut it.
Yep. You're going to bring that in your house with all these other things that you don't even understand why you're bringing in. And then everybody looks at, oh, look at the lights. Just like they're looking into the heaven at the stars and the moon and the sun and marveling at it, man. That's what these people do. Like we read in Jeremiah. Oh, no, we haven't read it yet. But the heathen, when they look at these things, they're dismayed by it. They wonder looking at this stuff. We're not supposed to do that. We don't worship lights. Well, Isaiah used to say that. We don't worship lights. Now, go to the next one. Babylon Christmas. 2 Babylon's Christmas 1. I got smart, man. Instead of writing all that stuff down, I was like, I'm just going to snapshot it.
When you got 100 of them, it's an easier way to do it.
They're going to roll with them. All right.
Upright men strove to stem the tide, but in spite of all their efforts, the apostasy went on till the church, with the exception of a small remnant, was submerged under pagan superstition. That Christmas was originally a pagan festival is beyond all doubt. The time of the year and the ceremonies which it is still celebrated proves its origin.
Now, bring it to where people can hear you. The mic, you got it way down here. You got to have it where they can hear you. So, you done?
No.
Keep going.
In Egypt, the son of Isis, the Egyptian title for the Queen of Heaven, was born at this very time, about the time of the winter solstice.
So keep in mind, y'all, because a lot of people try to say, or Christianity stole stuff from Egypt, which they did. But the Egyptians weren't the founders of the stuff. It all comes from Mesopotamia. It began with Nimrod. That's why Moses is pointing out Nimrod. And the curse is going to fall on Cush. Because he was of Cush. He was Cush's son. Noah's grandson. It started with them. They the ones that started this idol worship on this side of the flood. Go ahead.
The very name by which Christmas is popularly known among ourselves, Yule Day, proves at once its pagan and Babylonian origin. Yule is the Chaldean name for infant or little child, and as the 25th of December. Within the Christian church, no such festival as Christmas was ever heard of till the 3rd century, and that not till the 4th century was far advanced did it gain much observance.
Right. So it's that 4th century would be 326, 325, 326, with Constantine, where they fused this pagan worship within the church. Go ahead.
How then did the Roman Church fix on December the 25th as Christmas Day? Why thus, long before the 4th century and long before the Christian era itself, a festival was celebrated amongst the heathen, that at the precise time of the year, in honor of
at that precise time of the year. At that precise time of the year. Just like we ask people, if you're giving thanks to the Lord, why are you doing it on the 4th Thursday in November? Come on.
In honor of the birth of the son of the Babylonian queen of heaven, and it may fairly be presumed that in order to conciliate the heathen and to swell the number of the nominal adherents of Christianity, nominal adherents of Christianity, the same festival was adopted by the Roman Church.
So this is why I keep mentioning Constantine. So it was fused, the Christian, quote unquote Christian worship with paganism. It was adopted, it was meshed together, and that's what you have today, called Christianity. And then they think people persecuting them when you tell the truth. Christian persecution. Go ahead.
Giving it only the name of Christ. This tendency on the part of Christians to meet paganism halfway was very early developed.
You good on that. So he's saying the same thing. What they did, they fused this stuff into the Christian worship. And we're keeping this stuff until today. Is there another one? Yeah, Christmas too. So give me this before we go any further. Give me different names. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. So in like whatever nation of people it is, they're still serving the same gods. So you have Nimrod. Apostate Israel calls him Baal. Phoenicia, what is that? Il? Babylon, Belus. Assyria, Ninus. Greece, Zeus. Rome, Jupiter. Egypt, Ra. It's all the same thing. India, Vishnu. China, I ain't even going with that. I ain't dealing with that.
Cool.
Yeah. Mexico, Teotl. And Scandinavia, Odin. Odin. You know who Odin is. I guess, what's his name? Would be Tammuz. Thor. Yeah, Thor would be Tammuz. Loki.
Confusion.
So look, apostate Israel, Tammuz. Phoenicia, Bacchus. Babylon, Tammuz. Oh my goodness. So yeah, Hercules. Dionysus, Attis, Osiris, Horus, and Krishna. The Queen of Heaven, Ashtoreth. Phoenicia, Astarte. Babylon, Rhea, and Ishtar. See, goddess of fertility. Beltis, Aphrodite for Greece. Diana. And Isis, Hathor, Isi, Devaki.
Mayan said, what's the name of this book?
666, the Antichrist.
Yeah, Mayan.
This book is
Yeah, 666, the Antichrist. You can drop that, man. You can drop that. Now, let's go to Semiramis number 1.
So, the first city in the world after the flood, from whence the commencement of the world itself, was often dated, that had towers and encompassing walls, was Babylon. The Ovid himself tells us that it was the Semiramis, the first queen of that city, who was believed to have surrounded Babylon with a wall of brick. Semiramis, then the first deified queen of that city and tower, whose top was intended to reach heaven. The Tower of Babel. Okay.
Yes, Tower of Babylon.
Must have been the prototype of the goddess who first made towers in cities. When we look at the Ephesian Diana, we found evidence to the very same effect. In general, Diana was depicted as a virgin and the patroness of virginity. But the Ephesian Diana was quite different. She was represented with all attributes of the mother of the gods. As the mother of the gods, she wore a turreted crown, such as no one can contemplate without being forcibly reminded of the Tower of Babel. Now, this tower-bearing Diana is, by an ancient scholist, expressly identified as Semiramis.
It was Semiramis.
Oh,
you keep getting the R instead of the M.
Semiramis.
Yes, Semiramis.
When therefore we remember that Rhea, or Cybele, the tower-bearing goddess, was, in point of fact, a Babylonian goddess.
Damn.
And that Semiramis was was worshipped under the name of Rhea.
Right. Just having different. It's the same God, but with different names. Here's another one. Go to the next one. What is that? Semiramis 2? Yeah, Semiramis 2.
Bel, when we have seen the historical Bel as Cush, the identity of Ninus and Nimrod is still further confirmed. Is it confirmed or confused? I can't read
Confirmed.
that. Okay, yeah, confirmed. But when we look at what is said of Semiramis, the wife of Ninus, the evidence receives an additional development.
So they understand this is Cush. So Nimrod is the grandson of Noah, or great grandson, because you got Noah, then you got Ham, then you got Cush. So that would be Cush is his grandson. Nimrod would be his great grandson. Now, who does that look like right there?
Virgin Mary.
Probably all of the above, but that's definitely the Queen of Heaven. That's Diana. That's Ishtar. The one with all the eggs. It's all the same person. Queen of Heaven, Semiramis. That's who it is. Now, Tammuz. Little baby Tammuz.
In the legend of the Tauric goddess Diana, it is said that every stranger who landed on her shore was sacrificed on her altar. Have you ever wondered what the Christmas tree has to do with the birth of
Hold
Christ?
on, wait a minute. In the legend of Tauric goddess Diana, it is said that every stranger who landed on her shore was sacrificed on her. You know what they remind you of? The Lord of the Rings. When they came into the realm of the witch.
I didn't see that show yet. I want to see it though.
When they came on her realm, she knew it, and she sent the dwarves out there to get them.
Lord's Roma find.
They was all afraid. They was scared too. I don't know what they. All of that stuff though, like, man, all that stuff is just compiled into one big thing, and they call it Christmas. But go ahead, bro. We'll read.
Have you ever wondered what the Christmas tree has to do with the birth of Christ?
Right, that's the question. Have you ever wondered what the hell does a Christmas tree have to do with Christ? Go ahead.
Or the ornaments you place on the tree, or the meaning of the word Yuletide.
Or the ornaments that you put on the tree. Damn, go ahead.
Or where the tradition of mistletoe came from and how it became a symbol of Christmas. Reader, they have nothing whatsoever to do with the birth of Jesus, but are some of the traditions observed to honor the birth of the pagan god child Tammuz. There is not one single scriptural evidence that supports the birth of Christ being December 25th, but history says December 25th kept thousands of years before the birth of Jesus in honor of the pagan Messiah. Another name for Tammuz is the pagan godchild was Baal Bereth, which means the Lord of the fir tree.
It don't make no sense, man. It don't make no sense. They got our people food.
The Lord knows my heart, brother.
Yeah, it's definitely
He
wicked.
all of this. He goes through all of this for you to be like,
The Lord knows my heart. I'm doing it in spirit. And
You tell them and they turn their head to the side because they know, regardless of what they're saying, they're still going to keep it. Now, let me make a decision real quick. Let's go to Baruch 6 first. This is going pretty fast, brothers.
hour and a half, man?
yeah, hour and a half.
Huh?
It is going. Yeah, hour and a half.
It's an hour and a half.
Yeah, the class going fast, the time going fast. We not even halfway done.
No, we good though. We good. We good. Baruch 6. Baruch 6 and let's just go there. Baruch 6 is actually, if you try to look it up online, it's called the letter of Jeremiah, which you can read about the letter of Jeremiah in the book of Jeremiah. Verse 1.
The book of Baruch, chapter 6 and verse 1. Because of the sins which ye have committed before God, ye shall be led away captives into Babylon, by Nabuchodonosor, king of the Babylonians. You got a better pronunciation?
No, bro, no. Go ahead.
So when ye become unto Babylon, ye shall remain there many years,
Mm-hmm.
and for a long season, namely 7 generations. And after that, I will bring you away peaceably from thence.
Mm-hmm.
Now shall ye see in Babylon gods of silver, and of gold, and of wood borne upon shoulders, which cause the nations to fear.
So now, even they serving these same gods in the land of Israel and in the land of Judah, but now you're going to be carried away to Babylon itself, and you're going to see these gods firsthand. He's giving them warning. Go ahead.
Beware, therefore, that ye in no wise be like to strangers, neither be ye afraid of them when you see the multitude before them and behind them worshiping them. But say ye in your hearts, O Lord, we must worship thee. For mine angel is with you, and I myself caring for your souls. As for their tongue, it is polished by the workmen, and they themselves are gilded and laid over with silver. Yet are they but false, and cannot speak. And taking gold, as it were for a virgin that loveth to go gay, they make crowns for the heads of their gods. Sometimes also the priests convey from their gods gold and silver, and bestow it upon themselves. Yea, they will give thereof to the common harlots, and deck them as men with garments, being gods of silver, gods of silver and gods of gold and wood.
So they take these idols and they put silver and gold. You see this exact same thing when you look at the statues in Egypt. Look at Tutankhamun, his sepulcher. And you can I like the movie, that old movie. It was in 1998, 99, The Mummy. And they're showing all the gold in there. And then they got all of these Egyptian statues that have gold on them, silver and gold on them. So it's nothing new. This is how people worship their gods back then. They created these gods. And they went all in. Like it said in that book, that they did these things. They added these gods with the Christian worship with great pomp. They went all out for these gods. But our people won't go all out for the Lord, man. Very seldom. Verse 12.
Yet cannot these gods save themselves from rust and moss, though they be covered with purple raiment. They wipe their faces because of the dust of the temple, when there is much upon them.
Hold on. They wipe their faces because of the dust of the temple, when there is too much upon them. So he's saying they can't do anything for themselves. They're made by the hands of men. It's like we read in Wisdom of Solomon. They're cursed, and the men that made them are cursed. You know, the people that worship them are cursed too. Not going to get around that. Now, Daniel chapter 3. Start at verse 1.
The book of Daniel, chapter 3 and verse 1. Nebuchadnezzar, the king, made an image of gold, whose height was 80 cubits, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dura, in the province of Babylon.
Right, so he made this image of gold. It was 80 cubits. So I think a cubit is like 1.5 feet. So this would come out to like 80 feet, I believe. 75, 80 feet. That's tall. That's huge. And the breadth of it was 6 cubits. So it's not very wide. It's tall, but it's not very wide. Go ahead.
Then Nebuchadnezzar, the king, sent to gather together the princes, the governors, and the captains, the judges, and the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up.
Mm-hmm.
Then the princes, the governors and captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up.
Right. So he's, like earlier we was talking about Pharaoh and how Pharaoh had a birthday. And he gathered together and they had a feast. So right here, Nebuchadnezzar has made this idol. And he's calling everybody to come to the dedication of this idol. Like we had a feast of the dedication. So they're having their own dedication to an idol. Go ahead.
And they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up.
Mm-hmm.
Then an herald cried aloud, "To you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages."
So people, nations, and tongues. Go ahead.
That at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king hath set up. And whoso falleth not down in worship shall the same hour be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace.
So everyone has to come to this, to the dedicating of this idol. And when the music starts playing, everybody's got to bow down to this image. And if you don't, you're going to get cast into the furnace. Go ahead.
Therefore, at that time, when all the people heard the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and all kinds of music, all the people, the nations, and the languages fell down and worshipped the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up.
Mm-hmm.
Wherefore, at that time, certain Chaldeans came near and accused the Jews. They spake and said to the king of Nebuchadnezzar, O king, live forever. Thou, O king, hast made a decree that every man that shall hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music shall fall down and worship the golden image. And whoso falleth not down and worshipeth, that he should be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. There are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up.
Right, see? So, according to our law, we supposed to do that? No. No. Go ahead.
Then Nebuchadnezzar, in his rage and fury, commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Do not ye serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? Now, if ye be ready, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but if ye worship not, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hands? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter.
Right, go ahead.
If it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king.
And all of this because he had men make an idol with their hands, and is expecting Jews of all people now, this was the southern kingdom, expecting them to bow down to this idol. Watch what they say, verse 18.
But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up.
So if our Lord save us from that or not, we still not going to worship the God that you set up. Now, why did I come here? For what reason would I have to come to Daniel showing them worshiping some 80-foot image?
Times Square. Shoot, Newport News. We got one in our little city center.
Rockefeller Center video. Christmas video. Meet yourself.
Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. Thousands of people crowded into Midtown for the festivities. And among them, CBS 2's Jennifer Bisram. Live with all the excitement tonight. Jennifer, it's beautiful.
Yes, very beautiful. The holiday season, as you mentioned, has begun. The lighting of the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree happened just a short time ago. Thousands of people came out. They braved long lines and the cold just to witness the magical moment. And the NYPD was here in full force to make sure everyone was safe. And just like that, the holiday season here in New York City has officially begun.
We've been here for 3 hours just to see that, so it was amazing.
It's just the most spectacular tree you've ever seen, and just to be here is so magical.
The tree at Rockefeller Center has been lit and has more than 50,000 colorful LED lights wrapped around the towering 80-foot tree with a 900-pound stunning star with 3 million crystals.
We're here for the tree. This is our first time seeing the Rockefeller tree.
Thousands of holiday lovers from across the globe braved the long lines and cold, including Nick and Amanda Ziegler, who got engaged at the tree lighting in 2018.
As soon as the tree lit up, I proposed to her.
Yes, it was very magical.
And security was tight, both on the ground with uniformed and undercover officers and in the sky with drones.
People come from all over the world to experience the magic of the tree lighting, and our goal and our job is to make sure that they can do so.
The tree lighting has been around since the 1930s. For some, it's tradition. For others, here Wednesday night, it was something they were able to cross off on their bucket list.
It's always been my dream since I was a little kid to come see the tree light up.
Aww. It was beautiful.
Awesome.
Beautiful, awesome. Those are just some of the words that people use to describe the tree lighting here tonight. Now, the tree will be lit daily from now through January 13th from 5 a.m. to midnight on Christmas Day. It will be lit for 24 hours. We are live from Rockefeller Center tonight. Jennifer Bisram, CBS 2 News.
All right, Jennifer, thanks so much.
They don't care. They don't care about the light bill. Those lights, man. Those lights. The heathen are dismayed by them.
And they said, what, 900 pounds? The whole tree is.
No, I said the light. They said the star was 900 pounds.
Yeah. The star on top.
Imagine that don't fall.
But that's why I keep asking the question. Why are you? What's that star represent? What they teach you in school? What they call that?
Pledge of Allegiance?
No, not the Pledge of Allegiance. Astronomy. Mm-hmm. What do they teach you a star is?
A gas.
What is it though?
They say it's a gas. That's it.
It's every star is a sun. That's what it is.
They told us the sun is a star, but like I don't know.
It is. Yeah. You're looking at other what you call it? I forget. It's been so long. Yeah, you're looking at other solar systems, and the center of each solar system is a sun.
That's what they teach in school. Yeah.
Yeah, when you look when you look at it from a distance, they say that's a star. So, but it's a sun. So that's Nimrod they putting up there, man. That's Nimrod. Jeremiah 10.
And then they say the sun is like one of the smaller stars.
Yeah, if you Google stars and Google the sun, and they look different. That's all I'm gonna say. That's another topic though for another time.
Jeremiah 10, 1 through 5. This is the famous one. So Christians have been looking at this and they're like, that's not talking about the tree. Okay, come on.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 10 and verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel.
O house of Israel, because we're supposed to be separated from the other nations. The reason we're around other nations is because of our disobedience. Go ahead.
Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them.
See that? They love them looking up there at them lights. Come on.
For the customs of the people are vain.
Right.
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest.
Give me that. Should be one cutting the tree out the forest.
The work of the hands of the workman with the axe.
Right, because sometimes our people act crazy, and they don't want to admit to, like, where's the tree come from? I don't know. Come on, man.
I don't see cutting. I see gathering under a tree. I see finding a tree in the forest.
Yeah, finding a tree in the forest. One cut off a tree out of the forest. So that's a custom. You take your family. I did it with my parents when I was real young. But when I turned 6 years old, they went into being Jehovah's Witnesses, and we stopped doing that. But before then, we would go. They would have a little place on the corner where people would bring all the trees, and you go in there, Jant, and pick you one. And then take it home, take that thing in your damn house, that abomination, and then put all that crap on it. You can take that one down. Find decking it with silver and gold. Roy, you go ahead and read verse 4.
Verse 4. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not.
Look at them. And they look so happy.
So much confusion in that picture, though. Like, it's Christmas, it's tree worship. Then you got Santa Claus, and then they're gonna go to Christmas morning service at church.
Where the hell does Santa Claus come from? Where he fit in?
Old Saint Nick. That's where he fit in.
This is crazy.
Google Saint Nick. Exactly.
This is crazy.
Or you go to like the Netherlands and places in Europe and they do Krampus.
Oh yeah.
So all these characters.
Or Zwarte Piet.
Yep.
You mean Black Pete?
Yeah. Zwarte. Yes. What do you think swords mean?
But they claim it's not blackface, but they dress up as black elves or whatever they are.
It was crazy.
And believe it or not, I did that post a few years ago. In my encyclopedia at home, when you look up Christmas, it tells you the history about it. And it's got pictures of them with the Black Pete face. Literally.
Now, man, give me the one. Put the star on top. Roy, you can read. Go ahead, and read verse 5.
They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. They must needs be born, because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil. Neither also is it in them to do good.
Right. So in the history of that, they believed if you didn't bring gifts and stuff to this tree, that the spirit of Nimrod would take over that tree and it would attack you. But you see, like when we were reading in the beginning in that scholarship, it was a stock that they was worshiping. Now it's in the form of a tree, standing up like a palm tree. See? But it's still the same thing. Still the same worship, man. Like, and you and the Christians try to say they can say whatever they want. You can't deny it. It's all the things that go along with this. Just like when people try to disprove when we say that Esau is the so-called white man. You can say whatever you want to say, but all his attributes are written back there in Genesis, so you know exactly who he is. He can't turn aside from what he is inside. I don't care what he do. Just like the scriptures say, as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. It's going to come out. Now verse 8, I believe. Hold on, I think so. I think verse 8.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 10 and verse 8. But they are altogether brutish and foolish. The stock is a doctrine of vanities.
Go ahead.
Silver spread into plates is brought from Tarshish, and gold from Uphaz, the work of the workman, and of the hands of the founder. Blue and purple is their clothing. They are all the work of cunning men.
Right, go ahead.
But the Lord is the true God. He is the living God, and an everlasting King. At his wrath the earth shall tremble, and the nations shall not be able to abide his indignation.
Right. Oh, keep going. Read the next one.
Thus shall ye say unto them, the gods that have not made the heavens and the earth, even they shall perish from the earth and from under these heavens.
Right, so when Christ come back, ain't going to be no idols standing nowhere. Nowhere. Matter of fact, before we go any further, because we're done basically with the Old Testament. Before we go any further, let's hit this scripture we hit not too long ago. I think it's Leviticus 24. No. 26. Leviticus 26 and 1.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 26 and verse 1. Ye shall make you no idols, nor graven image, neither rear you up a standing image.
So when you put that tree in your house, is that a standing image, sir, ma'am?
Neither shall ye set up any image of stone in your land to bow down unto it. For I am the Lord your God.
So if I put gifts under the tree, am I bowing down in front of that tree? If I go to get a gift from under that tree, am I bowing down to that tree? You see the cunning craftiness of getting you to sin? And you'll never even realize it. You listen to them folks, they'll have you thinking that you're doing good. You're celebrating the birth of Christ, which is the perfect segue into the last part of the class.
Second half.
No, this is short, bro. This is short. Luke chapter 2. Because they say we're celebrating the birth of Christ. What do you mean you're just celebrating the birth of Christ? Where did Christ say that?
Hold up. Well, all the commandments done away with, the laws done away with. Why are you following that commandment that you made up?
Yeah, that you made up.
You made up a commandment to follow, but he gave you hundreds of other ones you don't want to look at.
All right, Luke chapter 2, start at 6.
The book of Luke, chapter 2 and verse 6. And so it was that while they were there, the days were accomplished that she should be delivered.
Mm-hmm.
And she brought forth her firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn.
Right. The reason there's no room for them in the inn is because it's time for Passover and unleavened bread. And they tax us. This is the season where they tax us. That's why I tell you in verse 1 that Caesar Augustus put forth that decree to tax us at this time, at the time of Passover.
All the world.
Mm-hmm.
7.
Go ahead.
And there were in the same country shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night.
So, shepherds in the same country. So they were in the same country, right? They're near Jerusalem. Everybody's there for the Passover, right? Go ahead.
And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone around about them, and they were sore afraid.
Mm-hmm.
And the angel said unto them, Fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people.
Right.
For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord.
So unto you is born this day. This day. So this is the day Christ was born. Go ahead.
And this shall be a sign unto you. Ye shall find the babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger.
So the sign was not that he would be born of no father. That's straight trash. Go ahead.
And suddenly there was the angel of a multitude of the heavenly host praising God and saying, Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward all men.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass, as the angels were gone away from them into heaven, the shepherds said one to another, Let us now go even into Bethlehem, and see this thing which is come to pass, which the Lord hath made known unto us.
Right, go ahead.
And they came with haste, and found Mary and Joseph, and the babe lying in a manger.
Just like the angel told him. Come on.
And when they had seen it, they made known abroad the saying which was told them concerning this child.
Mm-hmm.
And all they that heard it wondered at those things which were told them by the shepherds.
Come on.
But Mary kept all these things and pondered them in her heart. And the shepherds returned. And the shepherds returned.
Hold on, they didn't have a birthday party. They didn't have a birthday party.
No balloons, no cake.
Did they bring any gifts? Again, did they bring any gifts? Did they sing happy birthday to baby Jesus?
Feliz
Go ahead.
And the shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all the things that they had heard and seen, as it was told unto them. And when 8 days were accomplished.
So when it's going into 8 days been accomplished, it's talking about him getting circumcised. That's the end of that. The shepherds came and saw Christ. That's that. So where they get this having a birthday party and bringing gifts from on his birthday? They were celebrating his birthday. No.
From the 4th century?
Yeah.
When they started mixing. Well, this was before that, but, all the pagan.
All right. Now Matthew. So that was at Christ's birth right there. The account in Luke 2 is when that was the day Christ was born. The shepherds came and they saw Christ. They witnessed that. And then they went about their business. So now Matthew 2, we'll start at 1.
Book of Matthew, chapter 2 and verse 1. Now when Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, Where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east, and are come to worship him.
So, these wise men from the east came to Jerusalem. So, these are brothers that understood the prophecy that Christ, the King, was going to be born, right? So, it said they had seen his star. So when you look into our history, like when you look at Esther and Mordecai, Zerubbabel, Ezra, Nehemiah, these brothers was in what we know today as India. That's where they served. Where is that? Is that north, west, south, or east?
East.
It's east. So they coming from a good distance, right? They following this star. Go ahead.
When Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. And when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he demanded of them where Christ should be born.
Right.
And they said unto him, In Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it is written by the prophet.
Right, just talking about Micah 5 and 2. Go ahead.
And thou, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, art not the least among the princes of Judah, for out of thee shall come a governor that shall rule my people Israel.
So out of Ephratah, Bethlehem, Judah is where Christ would be. It was going to be born.
There's another cut though. To rule my people Israel.
Yeah, rule my people Israel. Go ahead.
Then Herod, when he had privily called the wise men, inquired of them diligently what time the star appeared.
So he wanted to know how long ago the star appeared that they followed. Go ahead.
And he sent them to Bethlehem and said, Go and search diligently for the young child. And when you have found him, bring me word again that I may come and worship him also.
Yeah, right. He going to come and worship him also. When you look into the history of this double right here, he killed everybody that had a chance of being a king. He was not going to lose his throne. Killed them all. Sound like other people we know in Jerusalem right now. Kill every damn body. They'll kill anything moving. Go ahead.
When they had heard the king, they departed. And lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them, till it came and stood over where the young child was.
So this was a chariot, and they followed it to where Christ was. Go ahead.
When they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceeding great joy. And when they were coming to the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented unto him gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh.
So I always laugh when I say this. They didn't give Christ no PS5. It didn't give him a Monopoly board. The gift was frankincense and myrrh and gold, because he's the King of Israel. This was not Christ's birthday party. This wasn't even when Christ was not a baby in this account here. When the shepherds came to see him, he was a baby. He had just been born. Now, keep going. Watch what it say.
And being warned of God in a dream that they should not return to Herod, they departed into their own country another way. Excuse me. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise and take the young child and his mother.
Hold on. Take what?
And take the young child.
The young child. Take the young child, not the newborn baby. The young child. There's a reason for this. Go ahead.
And his mother, and flee into Egypt, and be thou there until I bring thee word.
Now, verse 16. Here's the point. Verse 16.
Can we finish that verse?
Oh, yeah. Finish that verse. Then
For Herod will seek the young child to destroy him. Verse 16. Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceeding wroth, and sent forth and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem, and in all the coast thereof, from 2 years old and under.
From 2 years old and under. So Christ was around 2 years old when this happened. Y'all, it's the whole thing is a lie. It's a lie. Because everybody that understands that it's a bunch of pagan practices, the first thing they'll say is, well, we do it for the kids. Do what for the kids? The Israelites did not celebrate birthdays. The shepherds came to visit him. Now, 2 years later, the wise men have come to give him gifts and pay homage to the king, the promised king. All of this stuff is, man, Christianity is the biggest lie ever told. One of the biggest lies. Yeah, one of the biggest lies. So, Christ, they did not celebrate his birthday. We didn't do that. Now, celebrating birthdays is a heathen custom. Mark chapter 6. We read earlier, Pharaoh kept birthday. He kept his birthday. And he had a feast for his people on his birthday. You'll never read where any of the Israelites kept their birthday. Because even with it being wicked, you still don't hear anything about anybody celebrating a birthday.
Even in our Greek captivity, we were forced to follow and celebrate the king's feast days for his day.
Start where when we hit this at camp. 17. Just start at 17.
The book of Mark, chapter 6 and verse 17. For Herod himself had sent forth and laid hold upon John, and bound him in prison for Herodias' sake, his brother Philip's wife, for he had married her.
Yeah, Herodias was his brother's wife. Go ahead.
For John had said unto Herod, It is not lawful for thee to have thy brother's wife. Therefore, Herodias had a quarrel against him, and would have killed him, but she could not.
Right. She wanted to kill him for saying that they ain't supposed to be together. Go ahead.
For Herod feared John, knowing that he was a just man and in holy, and observed him. And when he heard him, he did many things, and heard him gladly. And when a convenient day was come, that Herod on his birthday made a supper to his lords.
Made a supper. So our people today, they celebrate birthdays.
And growing up, it was always where you want to go eat.
Yeah, and then invite all of your friends over. Same old custom. Same old heathen custom. Go ahead.
High captains and chief estates of Galilee. And when the daughter of the said Herodias came in and danced, and pleased Herod, and them they sat with him. The king said unto the damsel, Ask of me whatsoever thou wilt, and I will give it thee.
So to make it easier for you, the word Herod means hero. So that's why they have these names, Herod so and so, and so Herodias, which would be the female version, that's her name. Go ahead.
And he sware unto her, Whatsoever thou shalt ask of me, I will give it thee, unto the half of my kingdom. And she went forth and said unto her mother, What shall I ask? And she said, The head of John the Baptist.
So, and this is how John got killed. But the point, we did not celebrate birthdays. So you can't say, oh, we're celebrating the birth of Christ. We're celebrating his birthday. Christ never instructed you to do that. Never. We have our holy days. Oh, my goodness. If you're going to honor something, honor his death, what he did for Israel. You can drop this. Let's go to Maccabees.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah.
Oh.
2 Maccabees 6.
I ain't know you was going to go to it.
So the Idumeans, the Romans, they kept birthdays. The Egyptians kept birthdays. Let's check on these Greeks. Start at verse 6. 2 Maccabees 6 and 6.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse 6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days, or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
So the feast days that the Lord gave you and the Sabbath day, they say you can't keep that. Right? Go ahead.
And in the day of the king's birth, every month they were brought by bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices. And when the feast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus carrying ivy.
Yeah. So you can't do what your fathers or what the Lord your God commanded you to do, but you're going to do what we said do.
And that's the part we really try to reach and teach our people is our history, our culture is what's been stripped of us. But we do everything else these other people do. That's why I started the conversation with the young lady at camp the way we did. Why do we do the things we do? And what do you know about yourself? You got a Christmas tree set up and you just did Thanksgiving, but you don't know nothing about our history.
Nothing.
And then when we bring it up, it's like, oh, well, I just do it for the kids. I was like, what?
Where we at?
Verse 8.
Yeah, we'll read it.
Moreover, there went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathen by the suggestion of Ptolemy against the Jews that they should observe the same fashions and be partakers of their sacrifices. And whoso would not conform themselves to the manners of the Gentiles should be put to death. Then might a man have seen the present misery.
So they don't want you to keep the things that the Lord gave you, but they want you to keep their customs, their days. Now, they're not killing us for not keeping Christmas, but they do ostracize you. Like, why are you not doing that? What's wrong with you? But it's for Jesus.
Unless you're Jewish.
Oh, yeah. It's for Jesus. And it's for the kids. You got Jewish people that keep it.
Yeah. But, I mean, they don't get any backlash.
Sense, man. First Maccabees 2 and 23. See that? We're almost done, man.
I'm trying not to look.
Oh, man.
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 2 and verse 23.
Mm-hmm.
Now when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar, which was at Modin, according to the king's commandment. Which thing, when Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled. Neither could he forbear to show his anger according to judgment. Wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar. Also the king's commissioner, who compelled men to sacrifice, he killed at that time, and the altar he pulled down.
So look,
we read this earlier.
So this the mind state we supposed to be. Man, when you see your people doing this stuff, you should have a complete disdain and hatred for what they doing. Now we know we gotta speak kindly to them, but you're supposed to be in that type of spirit right here. They saying to hell with everything that we supposed to be doing, telling our people, oh, we don't have to keep the law no more, which keeps us in a perpetual state of hell. But we supposed to follow after them and do everything they do. You're supposed to be inflamed with zeal. And back here, they was in charge. They could do this.
But it goes back to the law. We're supposed to remove all that sin from amongst us.
Keep going.
Thus dealt he zealously for the law of God, like as Phinehas did unto Zambri, the son of Salem. And Mattathias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, Whosoever is zealous of the law, and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me. So he and his sons fled into the mountains, and left all that ever they had in the city.
Where's you?
28. Just read 28.
Oh yeah, you good. That's all right. So you can drop Maccabees now. Acts 19. This is the spirit we supposed to have. And we just coming off the Feast of Dedication, too.
All praises.
What I want, 19? I think I want 19. Yeah, 19. And 24. Yeah.
The book of Acts, chapter 19 and verse 24. For a certain man named Demetrius, a silversmith, which made silver shrines for Diana.
For who?
For Diana.
For Diana. Diana of Ephesus, the queen of heaven, part 2. Go ahead.
Brought no small gain unto the craftsmen.
Yeah, that's where they got their wealth from.
Whom he called together with the workmen, or like occupation, and said, Sirs, ye know that by this craft we have our wealth. Moreover, you see and hear that not alone at Ephesus, but almost throughout all Asia, this Paul hath persuaded and turned away much people, saying that they be no gods, which are made with hands. So that not only this our craft is in danger to be set at naught, but also that the temple of the great goddess Diana should be despised, and her magnificence shall be destroyed, whom all Asia and the world worshipeth.
So what they're saying is Paul feel the same way about them daggone idols as like Mattathias feel. And how when we read back in the law, you ain't supposed to have mercy on them. But at this time, that's what we're doing, extending mercy instead of killing folks. Read that next verse, read verse 28.
And when they heard these sayings, they were full of wrath, and cried out, saying, Great is Diana of the Ephesians.
Now jump to verse 34.
Verse 34, but when they knew that he was a Jew, all with one voice about the space of 2 hours cried out, Great is Diana of the Ephesians.
That's got to be irritating as hell.
And when the town clerk had appeased the people, he said, Ye men of Ephesus, what man is there that knoweth not how that the city of the Ephesians is a worshiper of the great goddess Diana, and of the image which fell down from Jupiter?
Right, see?
This is making me think, man.
Hold on. You want to say something?
I don't want to make class.
We're almost done.
You got your thoughts together?
All right, look, let's back up. I didn't plan on going here, but Acts 17. This will be real quick. We read it many times. 16 and 17.
Book of Acts, chapter
17.
17 and verse 16. Now while Paul waited for them at Athens, his spirit was stirred in him when he saw the city wholly given to idolatry.
Given to freaking idolatry. Number 1 commandment. Go ahead.
Therefore disputed he in the synagogue with the Jews and with the devout persons, and in the market daily with them that met with him.
So they got to be in the midst of idolatry for him to be going in on them. But you're supposed to be leading the people. It's everywhere. All of this go right back to Deuteronomy 28:64. You're going to be scattered among all the nations, and while you're there, you're going to serve their gods of wood and stone, man. But they done disguised this thing on you. Got you fooled. Deuteronomy 4:19.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4 and verse 19. And lest thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun, and the moon, and the stars, even all the host of heaven, shouldest be driven to worship them, and serve them, which the Lord thy God hath divided unto all nations under the whole heaven.
Now, we read this earlier, but I wanted to come back here to drive home the point. That's all we're doing, over and over and over. But the heathen done, like Paul said, beguiled you into doing these things. You keep seeing idolatry all through the scriptures. Serving other gods. 1 Peter 3 and 4. I don't even think we're going to hit no more scholarship, man, for y'all's sake.
Okay, I'm not going to stop the show. Is that 1 Peter 3?
Yeah, 1 Peter 3 and 4. So this is what happens when you tell your people, look, we're not going to be keeping Christmas no more.
I know exactly what I put it.
The book of 1 Peter, chapter 3 and verse 4. But let it be the hidden man of the heart.
2 Peter.
Okay.
Gotta be. No, it's 1 Peter. It's chapter 4 and 3. I must have been dyslexic when I wrote that down.
The book of 1 Peter, chapter 4 and verse 3. For the time past of our life may suffice us, to have wrought the will of the Gentiles, when we walked in lasciviousness, lust, excess of wine, revelings, banquetings, and abominable idolatries.
All rolled into one. Yeah, we're going there. Go ahead.
Wherein they think it strange that ye run not with them to the same excess of riot, speaking evil of you.
You go, now hold it right there. Now give me the picture with the whole family by the tree. And y'all at home, ask yourself, why are you doing this if you're doing it? Or why did you ever do it?
Tradition of men.
Yeah, tradition of men. And I like this picture right here because it's got everything in it. You got that stupid wreath on the wall. What is that wreath for? What the hell are them stockings for? Why your kids under the damn tree? Oh yeah, them stupid ugly Christmas sweaters. The gifts under the tree. What does, man, come on, man. And these pastors be making excuses. Well, we serving the Lord. How?
We know he probably wasn't born on December 25th, but you having service that morning.
Right.
And gonna go over his birth.
It's crazy, man.
But this First Peter, though, it go into, like, this is our people trimming their ways. Like Jeremiah 2 and 33. Because even if you be like, man, this ain't right, but you do it for the appearance of other people.
Yep.
You don't want to be the one ostracized, like you said. You don't want to be the black sheep of your family. But that's one thing you have to understand. When you choose to follow the Lord, you're going to start losing people that you've normally been around. And that should tell you a lot of things about how you were living before or how people are living around you. And that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to cause a separation. You're supposed to be leaving the worldly things behind.
Yes.
You're supposed to be a holy people set apart. You can't do everything the world does, and the Bible says love not the world. You can't. 1 John 2 and 15 says love not the world or the things in the world.
Yeah, I might as well hit it.
The book of 1 John, chapter 2 and verse 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, And the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world.
Keep going.
And the world passeth away, and the lust thereof. But he that doeth the will of God abideth forever.
Damn. But you can't get our people to do the will of the Lord. Yo, all praises to the Most High. He waking up his people, man. All praises. People waking up real fast right now. And then other people staying in madness and going into madness.
So first part of chapter 2. It goes into all of this.
Man, we could go on and on and on. We're not. This is what we're gonna close out with. Unless you want to read something else.
It's gonna read the whole chapter, but it's all right.
2 Corinthians chapter 6. So, like I kept saying at the beginning of class, we're supposed to be doing. No, look. Before we read this, Baruch 4. I kept saying this earlier. I think it's 5 or 6 or something like that. Oh no, verse 4. Just verse 4.
The book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 4. O Israel, happy are we, for things that are pleasing to God are made known unto us.
So it's known to us. We understand what idolatry is. Even exalting yourself above the Lord is idolatry. Putting anything before him is idolatry. That's all I wanted right there. Yeah. Now, 2 Corinthians 6 and verse 15.
The book of 2 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 15. And what concord hath Christ with Belial?
What does Christ have to do with Belial, with Baal, with this freaking idol worship? What does Christ have to do with that? Nothing. Go ahead.
Or what part hath he that believeth with an infidel?
Man, you can't make this stuff up, bro. Them folks had us fooled, man. Go ahead.
And what agreement hath the temple of God with idols? For ye are the temple of the living God, as God hath said.
So what you got to do with idols, man? Go ahead.
I will dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people.
In order for him to dwell in you, you got to have all the wickedness out, man. That's the purpose of Christ. To get that understanding. Keep going.
Wherefore, come out from among them, and be ye separate, saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing.
Touch not the unclean thing. Get that stuff out your house. Go ahead.
And I will receive you.
And the Lord will receive you. So if you rid yourself of these things, this idolatry, all of this, any kind of wickedness, the Lord will receive you. We broke the covenant. That's obvious. But now we can come back through Christ if we be obedient. Verse 18.
And will be a father unto you, and ye shall be my sons and daughters, saith the Lord Almighty.
Right, which goes all the way back to Genesis, the promise he made to Abraham. And even Abraham, he called Abraham out from among his own people. They were idolaters. Look at where they came from. Mesopotamia over there, ancient Babylon over there. Even Jacob. Remember Jacob, when he left, one of the daughters, one of Jacob's wives had taken her dad's idol. He came looking for that jank. That thing heavy. But that's been our Christmas special. I'm not going to hold y'all any longer. All praises to the Most High. I hope brothers and sisters got something out of this, got the understanding that we're not supposed to be in idolatry. We're not supposed to be keeping the feast days of the heathens. We're supposed to be doing what the Lord said to do. All praises to the Most High. I'm your brother Jacob.
I'm Brother Roy.
and we got Brother REA on OBS. With that, y'all, we say shalom.
Shalom.